WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game. In 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming with straight truth.
Did you go along with this? Did you plot this out? Did you go into the store with the intentions of causing a negative situation? This is the part that people don't like once they get into court after they get caught. Now, should he be executed for killing somebody he didn't do? I don't think so. He's already serving life. He's going to die in prison. I think that that's what's going to happen. At the same time, this is a message to the younger folks.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Check it out one time.
Great morning, Truth Nation. Welcome to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM The Truth. We're inside the American Family Insurance Studio in the heart of downtown at the Avenue. I am the legendary Home of Blow, along with my brother,
MC Dame Elzy in the building.
And of course, Will. Great morning. How you doing and feeling?
Great morning. Happy I was able to make it here today in the snow.
Man.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to talk about that, so rough drive coming in?
I mean, there was just like 4 feet of standing snow.
Absolutely.
Downtown, too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dame, what was your trip into the studio like?
It mirrors Will's. I live on a corner, and so because I live on a corner, the wind blows the snow.
The drifts?
So the drift on my driveway is always double whatever it is.
Right.
But I didn't shovel it yet. I just got in the Jeep and cut on that 4-wheel. Cut that 4-wheel on. So if you got a Jeep sometimes when it snows like this, it's kind of like fun because now you get to use all of the extra stuff that comes with it. But if I was thinking if I had, and I'm happy you got here, Homer, because I know you got a Camry, and I was thinking if I had my Camry, it would have been tough getting off of that snow.
Well, I also have a truck.
So you drove the truck today?
Yeah, because it was.
There you go.
It was in the garage, so I took that rather than having it, because I'm that type of person that I wipe off the whole car. Like I brush off the whole car, the roof, the hood, the trunk, the lights, all that. So I've been going around, but I do know about like snow, and for those who don't do this, it is a great thing to do. Pulling the wiper blades up, you know what I'm saying? So you don't have to freeze up. Yeah, because it's ice up under that. It is definitely ice up under that snow, and in some areas you can literally see that it's shiny ice up under it. So with things like that, one, to just kind of make sure that when you do brush off your windshield, that you're not doing it for naught. Because now the wiper blades won't.
Not a wiper blades ain't working.
Yeah, you ain't getting them loose or whatnot.
And then I had, with the, and I don't want to sound like this, but I had the automatic start, and the automatic start, I've always wanted one. And now that I got one, it's just like, I don't got to go out there and start it. I just, and now when I get out there, because I make sure, I knew it was going to snow, so I made sure I had the defroster on.
Absolutely, you got to make the heat volume up. So yeah,
I had everything
instead
set
of that. I do the same thing. I do the same thing.
So then by the time I got out there, it was just like cut the windshield wipers on and it would wipe that off and wipe the back off, and then it makes it easier.
It does.
But that didn't make the drive.
The roads aren't easier, though.
No, I still was driving slow.
Man, listen, coming in and being on one of the ramps to enter onto the freeway, it was almost like it was rush hour time. And I'm talking about at like 5:30 in the morning. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
And especially knowing that there are a lot of places. MPS is closed.
Oh, yeah.
MPS is closed.
Let's say that. MPS is closed. West Allis is closed. Because I pick up some kids today, and so I had to check. So West Allis is closed. MPS is closed. Most of the school districts are closed. So the MATC is closed.
Yep.
So if you in your car trying to go to any of those places, go back in the house.
Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. You feel what I'm saying?
That's happened to me before, though.
Oh, has it?
Man, listen, when I worked for the city, this is when I was a building. No, this is before. Was I a building inspector then? No, I wasn't. I may have been. That doesn't matter. I left the house, I told you I had the Camry then, so I had to dig myself out. I got stuck on the way to work.
Right.
And I'm on my way down, and I was like, man, this is empty streets. I get down there, the city done closed. I was so mad. I get there, it's a sign on the door. I like, see, that's why you got to watch the news.
Right.
Sometimes. Or at least turn it on in the morning so you can know. This is before, they still had smartphones, but it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah. And, one of the things that I do is because I know I have high traffic volume on all my social media sites. So I put, as soon as MPS put it out there, I shared the post to a lot of my platforms so people would know. You get what I'm saying? Be like, oh, okay, and thank you for doing that or whatnot.
Yeah,
so
people got to pay more attention. And I was one of those people. I wasn't paying attention and just went to work. I was upset.
Yeah. Yep. You got to
watch
those ticker tapes at the bottom if you're watching the news or whatever station you're watching. Yeah. Watch that ticker tape because it will also let you know before the news may come around again and say, well, this place is closed, that place is closed. Watching that ticker tape, whatever city or county you might be in, it'll have the different closings just rolling underneath.
My daughter hit me last night, and she was like, this y'all, and she's in Nashville in school. Shout out to Nyla running for student government to be chief what is it? Something. Chief Justice of Fisk University. So shout out to her.
Okay, yeah.
But she was like, this your fault. And I was like, what you mean? She's like, y'all messed up the environment. Now it's snowing this hard in the middle of March when it should be, warming up and stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, did you remind her, though, that we've been having snow in March and April?
Like, you 20 years old. You don't know no different, but okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, it is blizzard conditions out there. So when they saying blizzard, they're not playing. So the weather people got it right.
It's legit. Sometimes they mess it up.
Absolutely.
And people don't trust it.
Yep.
And that distrust goes a lot of different places when it comes to authority and information, but, better trust it.
Yeah, up north, man, them 10 to 20 inches, they got it.
That's real. That's
Impassable roads,
that's Minnesota
they got
stuff right there.
They got it.
Fargo. So I was out, I was telling y'all I was out last night. I had to pick up my niece from Bayview. So I was driving. It was like 9 o'clock, and it had just started snowing, right? But I'm out, and I'm like, I don't see no ice. I don't see no salt out here. I don't see even the little stuff they do to
brine.
the streets. I didn't see none of that. And I was like, oh, this is going to be rough. And it was already starting, because it was warmer in the day, it was like, and I'm like, it's starting to freeze already, because it was just hitting the ground, froze. Bah, 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 bah.
Right.
And so when now it's just piling up on top of each other, now you got a layer of ice.
Absolutely.
There.
Absolutely.
And they probably not going to send the trucks out in droves until like 1 or 2 o'clock when it starts to stop.
Yep.
So y'all be safe. If you gotta
the warnings
go to work,
are in place until like 4 p.m.
Right. So if you got to go to work, be safe.
Please, because it is crazy. And I'm telling you, then you got some people that are still driving like it's not an issue outside.
Yeah.
And those people really kind of strike a nerve with me. I'm like, come on now, really? You see everybody else.
I chalk that up to people who probably have never dealt with snow. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell this story, and I probably told it, where I was going through Atlanta, and it started snowing, and a Beamer drove past me going, 70, and I'm knowing it's Atlanta, it's snowing. They don't have the stuff to take care of this. So I was in a Jeep then, and I was like, I started going slower, and then about 2 miles up the road, the Beamer was off into the wall. It had hit the wall.
Wow.
And so a lot of times, these people that drive like that, they think they got traction more than they do, or they think they can react faster than it. They've never been in an accident, or they've never seen one, apparently, because that is just ridiculous to think that.
Absolutely.
You are definitely putting your life in danger going 45 miles, just 45. You know what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely.
Because we were going, when I was on the expressway last night, I was going 45 on the expressway, 35, 45 on the expressway. So you on the streets going that fast, come on, man.
Yeah.
So y'all be safe. Watch out for them people. I'll pull over on them. If I see somebody going, I look in my rear view and I see somebody flying like that.
I absolutely do.
I pull over.
I've been encouraging people to do that for years. Like even just driving in the city, and if you see somebody that's reckless driving in your rear view, I say even if you ain't got to turn right or left, just go turn right or left, because you'll get caught up. Because they just driving reckless. And I'm like, just if you can pull over, just pull over. It's okay to go out of your way for a block or two to get black on the path that you were traveling, as opposed to playing chicken with them.
Yeah.
And holler, they better not hit me. They better not hit me.
Well, what you gonna
until
do
they hit you. You know.
But y'all, DPW's got a tall task today. And DPW doesn't have one of its the operational manager. She moved on. Shout out to Danielle. Congratulations to her. She moved on to the Department of Administration. Okay. So she's over that now. So there's somebody else new in that position, and she would be the one that would
dispatching everything. Okay.
And so now you got somebody else new there. So we'll see how they do. This is their first storm.
Right.
Whoever that person is. And I don't even know if they filled that position yet, but whoever's covering that position, we'll see.
They got their work cut out for them.
They got their work cut out for them. And then, knowing the city, she probably went back over there to help them with this. But I would say they got their hands full with this one.
Yeah. So, anybody that, Truth Nation, if you have to go out and about today, if you don't have to, please don't. But if you do, please give yourself, when we talk about that extra time, give yourself extra time. If you don't have remote start, you're going to need your ice scraper.
Absolutely.
To get, and if your vehicle is parked on a parking slab or you park on the street or something like that, you're going to need to break that ice, before you'll be able to see out of your front, your rear windshield, or your doors.
Absolutely. Some people's doors might freeze up.
Yeah, absolutely. That was happening like last night as well. Like, I'm like, ooh, it's, you had the tug. So throughout the night, even though I knew I was going to be taking the truck, I ended up just making sure that I was starting it, you know what I'm saying, to make it where it was hot and I had it full blast and all that. And to be able to kind of like watch it on the cameras and be like, the windshield, look at them windshields. Like, the snow and ice just moving. Like,
absolutely. I had when I was in high school, I had that's when they used to do driver's ed, which they probably should find money for anyway, but that's another subject. One of the things my driver's ed instructor told me, and it stuck with me even through the accidents I've had. is when you're in a rush. That's when bad things happen. And now with this snow, don't be in a rush.
Right.
Because that's when it's going to multiply the possibility of something bad happening in that moment because you're rushing.
Yeah.
You're trying to get to work on time. You're trying to do this on time. They'll be okay.
So at 8 a.m., it's probably going to be a lot of people. You're late, but you got to drive. If they're telling you leave early, please do that.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to talk about the Oscars, and we got a great reason to talk about the Oscars.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, not happy that 16 nominations, they only got 4, but the 4 they got, outstanding still as well. So we'll talk about that. You're listening to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM The Truth. We'll be black.
As the White House threatens to take over state elections, restrict abortion nationwide, and take away our health care, the Wisconsin Supreme Court is the last line of defense for our rights. That's why the Supreme Court election on April 7th is so critical. The ACLU does not endorse or oppose candidates, but wants you to make an informed decision. When it comes to abortion rights, Maria Lazar supported overturning Roe v. Wade and is endorsed by groups that want to ban abortion. Chris Taylor voted against abortion bans and defended abortion rights while working with Planned Parenthood. And on the issue of voting rights in Wisconsin, Maria Lazar defended efforts to rig elections for one political party through extreme gerrymandering of congressional and legislative districts. Chris Taylor opposes rigging the system with extreme partisan gerrymandering. On April 7th, stand up for our rights. Paid for by American Civil Liberties Union, Incorporated.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Sun-Times raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Marcus Center, March 24th through 29th. Tickets at marcuscenter.org.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Literally one call, that's all.
I made one call, and that's all, worry-free.
One call, that's all. It worked.
Just one call, and that's all.
They will do what they say they're going to do. One call, and that's all.
One call, that's all means security.
It's literally one call, that's all.
It's a phrase we'll never forget.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Nation, great morning. Welcome, Black. I am the legendary Home of Blow, along with my brother who's feeling great now.
I'm feeling good, feeling great. Yeah, I was sick last week. MC Dan Mel's in.
Okay,
my bad. But yeah, I was under the weather last week. So shout out to everybody that sent their well wishes. Shout out to Iron Quanta this morning. That's it. Welcome back. Yeah, it hit me. Man, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna give y'all the gory details, but whatever it was, it hit me on Sunday, and then it kind of lingered into Monday. I was getting some work done on the car, and then next thing I know, I was
down for the count.
I was out. I couldn't. I was throwing up. I was doing all types of stuff for about 24 hours.
Wow.
It was like I didn't eat nothing for like 2 days. So y'all make sure y'all get y'all vitamins and do whatever you can, because if it hits you, and I had the flu shot, you know. So I was like, so if it hits you, it's gonna get you.
Right.
And what makes it funny is my niece stays with me, like I said, and so she had it first.
Okay.
And she was in the bathroom. And Listen, y'all. She was in the bathroom and she was throwing up and doing whatever. She was like, "Help me! Somebody help me!" Oh my God! The way we laughed, we didn't laugh in the moment. We helped her, but after she got better, we was like, "Dog, you was in there like, help me!" But then when I got sick, it wasn't funny no more because I felt her in that moment.
Right.
I needed help. So once again, shout out to everybody for the well wishes, and I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
Yep, absolutely. Let's talk about the Oscars. You know, we got a great reason to talk about the Oscars, in my opinion, because the movie Sinners, which was up with 16 nominations, and that in itself is such an achievement, especially for the type of movie / film that it is. And I guarantee you that a lot of people still didn't get all of the messages that was inside of it. A lot of people did, but there's a lot that probably didn't understand the correlation of what they were doing. But it was brilliantly done, masterfully done. But they won 4 Oscars at the 98th Academy Awards held on March 15th. 2026, the film directed by Ryan Coogler made history by entering the night with a record-breaking 16 nominations, the most for a single film in Oscar history.
That alone is history.
Right, absolutely. And the 4 Academy Awards won by Sinners. Best Actor, that was such a highlight, man. Michael B. Jordan for his dual role as the twins Smoke and Stack. It also won Best Original Screenplay. Shout out to Ryan again for that. It was just great. Best Cinematography, Autumn Durald Arkapaw, and Best Original Score, Ludwig. I'm not going to even try to mess up that last name.
Don't even try it.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
But it was nominated
for 16.
Yeah, some of the other ones that it was nominated for: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor. My man Delroy Lindo, Best Supporting Actress, Wumi Mosaka, Best Casting, Best Costume Design. Those are the big ones. It had some other minor ones that were on there as well. The woman that won, Autumn Durald Arkapaw, she became the 4th woman nominated and winner in that category. So I think she was like the first woman to win Best Cinematography, which is big because that's the, if you know cinematography, that's the person that's running the cameras for the director.
Absolutely.
So that was big. But I think Delroy being nominated and I think Michael B. Jordan actually winning was super big.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And just his speech and how his father came in from Ghana, you feel what I'm saying, to be there. And, of course, he always, his mother was right there by his side. And just watching that whole moment kind of gave me chills. Like, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. And very well deserved. Historical losses, it said, because it won 4 of its 16 nominations. The film set a new record for the most losses in a single night.
So you get the most wins and then you get the most losses, too.
Right. Surpassing the previous record of 11.
See how they do black people?
Yeah.
They give you a win and then they give you
right.
You also got the most losses.
Right.
So you got some wins, the most nominations, but you also got the most losses.
Right, absolutely. You're like, come on, man, let me savor in this, you know what I'm saying?
That's the jokes of Hollywood.
Vainglorious moment. Let me see here.
And then the movie it lost to for Best Movie, One Battle After Another. I liked that movie. It was a good movie. I think my man Leo did a good job in that movie. Tiana Taylor is in that movie. She did an excellent job, but I don't think it was better than Sinners. But I think, like I was telling you, I think it won because of the content of the movie. It's a protest. It's a movie about protesters who are on the run from the police, and they have this great organization, and it's like they are helping each other to evade and elude the police. It's this great underground. They robbing banks to feed. It's a protest movie. And in the times that we are in, Hollywood may have been sending a message with, here's what we think. Because I didn't watch it, but I didn't, and in the replays, I didn't hear a lot of political talk. I didn't watch it, though. And in that, they send in their messages. This is what we think of the times we're in and the protests. So I get it. But don't do that while Sinners is there, which is like a genius movie.
Right.
Sinners is. Let me just tell you, my daughter went to the movie theater to see Sinners 7 or 8 times. Now you know how much it costs to go to the movies.
Yes.
She went 7 or not streamed it.
Right.
Went to the actual movie theater 7 or 8 times to see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. And, that is dedication, again, because in the age of streaming, right? You know what I'm saying? Because streaming has, they raised the bar for real. Like from what we're used to, be like, okay, people going to get popcorn and all that kind of stuff. Now. That wasn't right.
Now you can pause it and go do what you want to do and with the streaming. You can do that. During the pandemic, and the pandemic taught me this, is even before the pandemic, I had gotten something so I could get all of the movies as soon as they came out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why would I go to the movie theater?
Shout out to the VC box. Okay, but go ahead.
I didn't say that. Homer said
I know
that.
I did.
Okay.
I know.
You get me in trouble. The FCC already on after us.
That's where I was getting ready to go and tie into the movie that did end up winning. So it was going to be a perfect lead-in because to that. But go ahead.
But yeah, so with that, I never went going to the movies for what? I'm sitting here on my couch and watch this. But once again, I'm glad. But when something like Sinners would come out,
and Wakanda, like when Wakanda came out, I love the fact that we showed up, and we showed out in a positive way, man.
Yeah, because you have to think Michael B. Jordan has been in the last decade, some of the biggest black.
Yep.
And I don't like putting them in a box. Black movies, some of the biggest movies that have catered to our culture. Let's say it that way. I don't like when you say black movies because then it's like, okay, it's not. But some of the biggest movies that have catered to our culture and not really involved wanting to cater to the other cultures. It was like, this is for y'all.
And the part that stood out and stands out to me about the movies that we're talking about that Michael B. Jordan has been in, they have not been what we know are black exploitation movies.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? They were powerful movies. So that's another positive with the situation, especially when it comes to Michael B. Jordan.
Hey, listen, the first time I saw Michael B. Jordan, obviously he was in The Wire. Mm-hmm. And now that he was a young kid, if y'all don't know, he was a young kid, one of the runners in The Wire. I think his name was Michael in that one too. No, well, whatever. And he got killed off, so I ain't gonna tell you all that. But just know he started with greatness.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then from there, he went to Fruitvale Station, which was the first movie that him and Ryan Coogler did, which probably should have won more awards than it did. Because if you've ever seen Fruitvale Station,
dope, powerful.
I went, and this is what I'm saying. Me and a friend went to go see it at the movie theater on Oakland because it was the only one that not on Oakland, on Downer or something like that. It was one of the only ones that was showing it. And so we went and saw it there. It might have been during the MKM Film Fest or something like that, but I don't remember. But we went.
So you either went to the Downer or the Oriental Theater?
Yeah, it wasn't the Oriental, though. Okay. It was the one over.
Downer. Yeah. And on Downer, it's called Downer.
Yeah, so we went there. Man, we came out of there crying.
Right.
It was like, it was mad.
Yeah.
That's when you know a movie or any piece of art
has
done its job.
Yep.
Because Common said something, either the music's going to make you want to F, four-letter word, fight, have fun, or do something. But it's going to have you.
It's going to evoke an emotion.
It has to. And if it doesn't, then it's not good art.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that was good. And that's crazy that, 13 years later, they go from that to Sinners. And in the course of those 13 years, they've made 5 movies together. And now they getting Oscars. And he should have gotten Best Picture. It should have been Best Picture.
Man, his hair. The brother had a violin or a guitar in his hair.
Really?
And he had a G clef note. His braider is outstanding.
Who talking about Coogler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, wow.
And you know what else I love about Coogler? Bro. I love that he is emphatically black.
Right.
If that is a term that you can use.
Being proud, yep.
He is emphatically black. Even in the way that he talks, there's no putting on when they change their voices and stuff, because I don't even know how to do it. But there's none of that. He's not changing his voice. He's not changing the way he walks. He's not changing how he talks to someone. He is Oakland to the heart.
Yeah.
I'm glad, and I'm proud to see that. Even if I ain't from Oakland, and we know that, but it's like that's beautiful to see.
Yeah, and speaking with the when we're talking about movies and things like that, FCC chairperson threatens broadcasters' license over news coverage. FCC chair Brendan Carr has warned TV broadcasters they could lose their license if they air what he calls hoaxes or distortions about the Iran war. The comments follow criticism from the Orange Man about media coverage and have sparked First Amendment concerns. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth before we get into some of the other things that we're going to be discussing on this morning. You're listening to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM. We'll be black.
Sweet Talk's Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. Skip the sterile clinical office feel. Sweet Talk stays on the cutting edge of beauty and wellness innovations in a vibrant, playful space, promoting self-love and confidence. Sweet Talk specializes in a range of treatments, including injectables, medical-grade skincare, weight loss, hormone therapies, and more. Not sure where to start? Sweet Talks offers comprehensive wellness consultations to create a customized plan centered around you. Because at Sweet Talks, your goals are their goals. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
The worst kind of whites, not that I'm picking on white folks, but you know how it goes, is the ones that think that they will lose something if this country becomes more fair and equal. I'm going to say that again. The worst kind of white people are the ones that think that if a black person gets a job and gets an opportunity and they ignore how hard the black person had to work and the racism, the bigotry, and the discrimination, and just how people turn their noses up at smart black people. They hate us. And the black person works really hard and overcomes maybe generational curses of poor health and poverty and all of those things. And we got to deal with the police and the criminal justice system that doesn't often have our backs. And then the black person gets a job, gets an opportunity, and a white person sees that and thinks that they lost. Those are the worst kind.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 101.7 The Truth.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Nation, welcome black. I'm the legendary Home Blow, along with my brother,
MC Dame Elsie in the building.
A little flu lag.
No, I was reading, shout out to Doc B who just hit me and was like, the term you was looking for, Dame, is code switch. You're absolutely right. That's what I was looking for. I don't know why it slipped my mind real quick, but my man Ryan Cook, he never code switches. And I appreciate that, and I love that. Shout out Doc B. Good looking out.
Had a chance to see Doc of course, at the Community Awards, but there was a private listening session that was put on by a street politician and coalition DJs, and it was a listening party and a showcase. So Doc B. He got there a little bit later, but he was also able to give his constructive critique on the performances that we had a chance to watch and talk about. So shout out to Doc B.
Shout out, Doc.
Now, Dame, the FCC chair, it seems like anything that, and I've been saying it forever, that anything the Orange Man wants, the Orange Man gets. And now when we're talking about radio and TV, which is governed by Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, he's mad that people are finding the truths about the Iran war. And when news media speaks about it, it's like, no, that's fake news because he wants it to be his narrative, his narrative only. Everybody that he has around him, in my opinion, follows his, narrative. Even though I know that they know dead in their heart that y'all know he's wrong, y'all know he's lying. So talk about that, man.
They're loyalists to the point that my man Rubio had on shoes that was too big. Did you see that?
Yeah.
His shoes is 3 sizes too big, but because Trump gave them to him, he's going to wear them.
Yeah.
That's how much they carry the water for this man.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
when you have to keep that in mind as to how he's dealing with those that are around him and those that are appointed by him, when they say things like my man Brendan Carr just said, broadcasters that are running hoaxes and news distortions, also known as the fake news, have a chance now to correct course before their license renewals come up. The law is clear. Broadcasters must operate in the public interest, and they will lose their licenses if they do not. And frankly, changing course in their own business interests should, since trust in legacy media has now fallen to an all-time low of just 9% in our ratings disasters. The American people have subsidized broadcasters to the tune of billions of dollars by providing free access to the nation's airways. It is very important to bring trust back into media, which has earned itself the label of fake news. When a political candidate is able to win a landslide election victory, even after the face of hoaxes and distortions, there's something very wrong. It means the public has lost faith and confidence in the media, and we can't allow that to happen. Time for change. Listen, who that sound like wrote that?
Man, listen, you already know.
Don't that sound like Trump?
Absolutely.
They carry the water for Trump so much that they even sound like him when they release their own statements.
Because I guarantee you that it was pre-approved.
Yes.
By the Orange Man. Like, hold on, what do you think about this messaging? What do you think about that messaging? I guarantee you all of the messaging that we're hearing from these different people. And when you hear the lunacy of it, it just lets you know the lunacy of him.
Yeah, they
you know what I'm saying?
They literally, the FCC literally in that statement alone just threatened free media in that they are not representing the truth. Accused media of lying. This is the beginning, y'all. It's been going on. Trump started it with the fake news, fake news.
Right.
But this is what happens. When they start going after the media and those that are talking and being negative or being critical of them, this is what happens. American democracy is built upon people having free speech.
That's right.
It is built upon people having criticism of those in power because that's how you make those in power do what's right.
Comedians can't even do what they want to do no more because they're being judged and all that. Like, I'm telling you, this is a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. And he is just... He's continuing because when you can silence TV stations and then that big buy, his family got money in that with the Paramount and
Paramount just bought BET and shut BET down.
Yep.
BET Plus got shut down because Paramount just bought it.
Yep.
But this is what I'm saying. When they start, if you look at history and you look at authoritative governments and when they start taking control, it begins in earnest when they start taking over those who criticize them. And when you look in Russia, when you look in the Philippines, when you look in any places where these authoritative governments have taken control, there has been an attack on the media because the media is the one that is giving you the information. The media is the one that is telling you. You trust them in most cases. And the eroding the trust in that institution gives them more power Because now who do you get your information from?
Right.
You're going to get it from them.
Yep.
And they're going to tell you
what they want you to.
It's going great in Iran. We are winning it by a landslide in Iran, and nobody's dying. Come on, man. But if I turn on the news and I see it, then you can't run those lies. But but see, people don't understand. Oh, they can't do that. They won't do that. Oh, yes, they will. They will definitely do that, and they will keep doing it. And what you have to realize is they started now. 10 years from now, you won't remember a time when the media was free, when you could get the truth. They can alter the truth to the point where you don't even remember the truth.
Yep.
No more. They'll take it off the internet. They'll take it off of everywhere. And now their truth is the only truth you know. That's where we're headed. People better wake up. And this comment, he just threatened all of the media and said, your license is up. He just threatened their licenses if they don't adhere to not telling the truth.
Right. Listen, it reminds me, and you got to be grown, because, I mean, it was old when I finally start seeing some of the episodes of it. But The Outer Limits. The intro, part of the theme of The Outer Limits, when you hear the narrator talking, he was like, we control everything you see. We control everything you hear. Welcome to The Outer Limits.
Where?
It's like here we are.
Yeah.
And that show, like I say, came out way before I was even born. But you get what I'm saying? It's like that's it.
And that's true.
It.
That's true. And a lot of times some of those older shows, older movies where they have talked about 1984, the Orson Welles movie. Y'all need to go watch that because in that movie there's public ran television. In these places we're talking about where authoritative governments have taken over, there's public ran television where you don't have in China they determine everything that's going to be on TV. If you send something,
that's right.
Even American movies that play in Chinese theaters, if they have anything that is questioning government in those movies, they have to take those scenes out.
Even with their internet, it's controlled to that. Like, you're not gonna be able to see certain stuff. You're not gonna be able to if you are in China. Like for real.
Now, can you just imagine a world where you don't have the information and only thing you're given is what the state tells you? And so they're committing all these atrocities, doing all these things wrong, but they're smiling at you, telling you, "Oh, we're not doing that. This is what really happened. Watch the Hunger Games." This is what I'm telling y'all. And I know that's trivial stuff, is watching movies, and I'm putting my tin hat on in this one. But a lot of times, a lot of the stuff that we go through is stuff that has happened before in history. So movies like The Hunger Games, movies like 1984, those types of movies take from the past and just revert it into the future. Like if this happened in the future or something like that. And now we're going through those situations. So y'all got to do some research and see.
Enemy of the State, Will Smith.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like that I tell people, like, by the time they put it in movies or TV shows, it's old technology to them.
Speaking of which, if you look at, and this is why they want to control media, 60 Minutes, one of the most, what I want to say, most recognized shows for their truthfulness. And when CBS was bought, and they still trying to make it go through the strainers, but 60 Minutes is fighting because it's an institution, right? 60 Minutes just had a report about a supersonic ray gun that can send out microwave waves and mess up your brain. And then now you die from, it looks like you just had a heart attack or you got brain damage or something like that, but it really was caused by this. 60 Minutes is reporting this, y'all.
Yep. Now you all of a sudden you have an aneurysm,
right?
And you out of here.
So what happens when they control the media and 60 Minutes can't report this? What happens when they control the media and you don't know about my man Petrie that got killed in Minnesota? You don't know about things like that. What happens then? You live in a world that's make believe,
right? People need to really Google or check with AI if that's what you choose to do. Like how, when you're watching TV and commercials, all of the things that's in there, you think that you're just watching the commercial, but it's all kind of things like that the eyes pick up, and the brain sensors pick up like, okay, now I'm hungry. The fact that it's a known fact, and you ain't got to just take my word for it. You can look it up yourself, that movie theaters will send into the movie theaters themselves, like in the different cinema 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the smell of popcorn.
Wow.
To make you want popcorn. Like, they really do this. Like, you can be watching a commercial about this, and there's so many other images that are in that commercial that just the naked eye doesn't pick up while you watch it. The brain ain't saying, but the brain is picking up like, oh, it just showed this and it showed that, and now all of a sudden you have a craving or urge for something else. It's like when you mention something around your phone, and now every time you open your phone, it's showing that all the time.
Somebody sent me yesterday a post about TVs, smart TVs, and that smart TVs take screenshots of everything that on your TV multiple times a second. They send it back to Samsung or Roku, and Samsung and Roku sell this information to advertisers so they know what commercials people are watching, what commercials. So that's why they don't have to need Nielsen. They're taking screenshots. They see what you're watching all of the time. And I say that to say this again: that information is pertinent to what we're talking about, because they're seeing that people are watching more news. People are becoming more, in times like this, people are becoming more educated. They want to know what's going on. And if people become more educated, that is the worst thing that can happen for an authoritative government, is an educated population. So now the FCC takes that information like, oh, people watching this, people watching that, people. That's fake news.
Right, absolutely.
And if you keep doing that, we're going to take you off the air.
We got to get ready to take care of some bills. Truth Nation, we want to hear from you, 833-212-1017. Violence is continuing to surge in the city. What needs to be done? And all of these fights that you're seeing, people's cutting up down there in Houston for spring break and all that stuff.
The rodeo.
Yeah, the rodeo, spring break, just a lot. Shout out South by Southwest, all kind of stuff that's going on. We'll talk about it. If you're from Milwaukee and caught up in the traffic, not being able to fly home, you're going to be late at 8 o'clock.
Look out.
You're listening to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM The Truth. We'll talk about some of the things that are happening in the city in just a moment. We'll be back.
You bid, they benefit. It's that simple. WTMJ's Kristen Bry here to tell you that WTMJ is hosting a silent auction for the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. And the auction is live now. Bid now at WTMJcares.com. Bid on game-worn Giannis gear, a signed bat from Brewers slugger Andrew Vaughn, and a golf foursome at Morningstar Golf Club. You score something amazing, local families get the diapers they desperately need. Auction closes Friday. Bid now at WTMJcares.com.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
One call, that's all.
Truth Nation, now's your chance to be our one call, that's all Gruber 5K giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered to win $5,000. $5,000! Courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number 17 right now at 833-212-1017, and you will be entered to win the $5,000 giveaway with the award-winning 101.7 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Again, that is caller number 17 right now at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them at gruber-law.com. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Welcome, Black.
Yes.
Welcome, Black. Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM The Truth. I am the legendary Home Blow along with my brother.
MC Dame Elsie in the building.
Man, bro.
$5,000.
Shout out to our girl, Bailey Coleman. Hopefully she's having safe travels. You know what I'm saying? Hey, leave early, Bailey. Leave early.
Bailey probably, she hit me last night. Was like, I'm glad you going in tomorrow. I was like, ha ha. Welcome back, Dame.
And again, we remind you, MPS is closed. So again, and please check wherever, even your jobs. You know, just make sure that they are still open. And if you do, make sure you leave out early, please, because they were saying, like, from when we had to come in, Dame, like, it's a heavier band of snow that's still to come.
Wow.
Like, while we're here and after.
That's
again,
crazy.
Yeah, again, remember the warning is in effect until 4 p.m. this afternoon.
Hopefully y'all got some food in your fridge.
It's blizzard now, blizzard, so blowing snow.
Being snowed in with no food, no nothing.
Ah, man.
You a Uber Eats person, and all you do is Uber Eat and all of that stuff. And
price surges is it's going to surge
if they even do it.
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah. So there has been a lot of violence going on in and around the city. And one was a house party. You know, and this kind of goes to, I think, something that me and Bailey was talking about. Like, sometimes people are not checking. Some of the people in this generation, they don't have to meet the adults that are going to be at that house. They don't have to ask, is there going to be alcohol there or drugs or weed? They don't. It's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes because of that, you know, some of these situations can arise to whereas that house may not have been safe to let your son or daughter go to that house party. But again, you're having people that are like, okay, it's cool. Yep, you can go.
Let's use this as an educational moment. If you're a parent and you have teenagers, there are certain questions you need to ask before they leave the house.
How about that?
There are questions about, okay, I'm going to somebody's house to hang out. Okay, you're going to somebody's house to hang out. Cool. Who's going to be there? That's one of the questions. Okay. Well, you know, I'm just going to give you the answers as I said. You know, it's going to be me and James and them and then. Okay, I got that. Is the opposite sex going to be there? Yeah.
Right.
Boom. Okay, cool. So y'all having, what kind of, is it we're going to a kickback. That's what they call them, kickbacks. So this is going to be you and your core group of friends is what you're saying. Well, there may be some, okay, now, so it's a party. So now you're going to a party at somebody's house. Now you have to ask these questions about anytime your kids, because my kids will tell you, I be on their ass. I'm gonna ask,
as you should.
I'm gonna ask a million questions, and they hate it. Daddy, you always asking them questions. Well, I need to know these things.
Absolutely.
So then I can tell you what to do in these situations, or how it's gonna be, or if you can go or not.
How about that part?
And a lot of times people have these kickbacks, and I don't know why this house party. I didn't even know they had house parties like that no more.
All the time. Were you on a Wild Black last year when it was talking about the fight houses that they got?
Well, I know the fight houses and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm talking about how
no, they having actual parties, and that's what
I can't get mad at that. When I was in high school, shout out to my brother Gerald, we used to throw house parties, and we would create flyers and do all of this stuff. His parents would go out of town, and they live in Mississippi, so they're not hearing this. But I assume he told them already this information because he's writing a book, so he said he told them all this information. And so we would have house parties and stuff, but it was different then because it wasn't social media involved in it where you put these flyers on social media. Now 9 different city Milwaukee high schools are seeing this information, and everybody's like, well, Gerald and they be having them, and they always know the chicks, and now they all that. No, it was a flyer we handing out hand in hand. So it's the same stuff that we were doing. It's just now they haven't adjusted for the fact that you put this information out in the world.
Right.
There are going to be 200 people at your mama's house. You talking about through 9 different city of Milwaukee schools and all these other schools now, there's going to be 200 people at your mama's house. You can't handle 200 people. Now it's out of control, and now it's outside, and now tempers are flaring because they can't get in. They can't do whatever. And now somebody ends up getting, instead of somebody getting beat up, now somebody's getting shot because everybody got a gun.
Hashtag that part, hashtag facts. So, again, this is why I say, and I know we're talking about 17, so some people be like, well, they were 17. Still,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody at that party wasn't 17, I guarantee you. It was a teen house party. Yeah, everybody wasn't 17.
No.
And so because of that, though, you have to be a parent. You have to be a parent. Again, when we think about the fact, Dame, and that shooting happened on 23rd, 22nd and Center. You feel what I'm saying? Because of being a mentor, there are things, and we talked about it when we were talking about Brother Andre Lee Ellis, 500 tuxedo event, and how some men may get disqualified because of this or disqualified because of that. Because again, you have to run these searches because again, you don't want to have somebody that shouldn't be around children, which we're seeing more and more happen, even when it comes to teachers.
Yeah.
Be like, you should have never been around these kids.
But 22nd and Center, though?
Yeah.
Listen, I wouldn't have went to no party on 22nd and Center.
I didn't want to hear you say that.
I'm just going to be 100
I know, I didn't want to hear you say it. I didn't want to hear you say it.
Because it's too deep in the hood right there. I'm not going to the house party on 22nd Center in 94. And I'll talk about these statistics later on, but and that was the height.
Right, absolutely.
Statistically, crime was worse during 92 to 97, and it started going down in 90. Those were the worst 5 or 6. So when I was in high school, was statistically the worst crime numbers. Even now, as bad as it seems now, it was worse then. Think on that, y'all. 30 years ago, it was worse in that moment. You started in 1950. It went down. It was low. Then segregation ended, and then it kind of went up in the 60s and 70s. And then in the 80s, crack come in. So the 70s was just as high now. 1970 was just as high now as it is now as it was then. So when people talk about history, it's still relative. But I say all of that to say, then I wouldn't have gone to a party on 22nd and Center. So that's why you have to ask your kids question. Where is this party?
Right.
Where is this party? It's on 22nd and Center. Go sit your ass down.
Hashtag that part.
Because you just know whatever's happening on 22nd and Center is not going to be secure because it's right there.
Absolutely.
And people can walk right there. They can do whatever. Come on, man. And I'm not talking bad about we all know our city and where we live. That's a part of parenting. It's like, where is it at? 22nd and Center? Nah, you go sit down, buddy.
Yep.
Nah, you good.
And you ain't wrong.
You good.
You ain't wrong. But again, that parenting aspect. But when you have some people who ended up go ahead, make sure you just bring me a bag, Black. You get what I'm saying? And this is Man, it's part of the problem. It's part of the problem. Troop Nation, we're getting ready to take care of some bills, but the violence that is continuing to happen, let's again dig deeper. I'd love to not have to say that over the weekend we had 4 people shot, that we had a homicide. I'd love to have to not talk about that and be able to talk about some of the other great things that we're doing, but we can't ignore it. You're listening to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM. The Truth will be black.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Want to protect our planet? The air we breathe, water we drink, and land we share? Real progress begins with birds. Yes, birds. The very ones we see and hear every day. On a walk, in the park, or simply out the window. That's because birds are more than birds. They're symbols, sentinels that reveal the health of our planet and our people. And by helping them thrive, all of us thrive as well. Audubon is a place where birds matter, where habitats are protected, where communities are engaged, and where change takes flight. Because at Audubon, hope begins with birds. Progress begins with birds. It all begins with birds. Audubon.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
The worst kind of whites, not that I'm picking on white folks, but you know how it goes, is the ones that think that they will lose something if this country becomes more fair and equal. I'm going to say that again. The worst kind of white people are the ones that think that if a black person gets a job and gets an opportunity, and they ignore how hard the black person had to work and the racism, the bigotry, and the discrimination, and just how people turn their noses up at smart black people. They hate us. And the black person works really hard and overcomes maybe generational curses of poor health and poverty and all of those things. And we got to deal with the police and the criminal justice system that doesn't often have our backs. And then the black person gets a job, gets an opportunity, and a white person sees that and thinks that they lost. Those are the worst kind.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 101.7 The Truth. You're listening to the new 101.7 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 101.7 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Check it out one time.
Great morning, Truth Nation. Welcome to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth. We're inside the American Family Insurance Studio in the heart of downtown at the Avenue. There is a blizzard warning in effect until 4 p.m. today. If you were supposed to be at work at 8 a.m. and you haven't been listening to the news reports, the weather reports all evening last night and early this morning, you're late. You're late. So, again, but when you're out there, please drive carefully. So, again, I get it. You might be late today because you ran into some accident. I'm sure it's been some accidents out there.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
But there's not a lot of cars out there. A lot of places closed.
Which is good. Is good.
A lot of job places have closed. A lot of places of employment are closed. So check to make sure yours is open.
Right. And radio and TV, we're essential. You feel what I'm saying? Because we're the ones trying to help you navigate through the situation. So we don't get to just say, we ain't coming in because of a snowstorm or blizzard.
Do it from home.
Yeah, so we're here to just make sure that we keep you informed on what's going on. But Truth Nation, I want to start getting your thoughts on, just what appears to just be a continuance of violence. And then the road rage is still an issue, Dame. The road rage is still an issue because the 19-year-old who was shot during a driving-related dispute on 76 and Bobolink, it was a road rage issue. What are some things that people... Oh, and shout out to Venus Jones, our qualifier for the Gruber 5K giveaway. She was our one call.
That's all.
That part. And so Venus Jones, congratulations on qualifying. And we are praying that you end up being that winner when it's time for us to choose that winner.
And Venus Jones was the second one on YouTube today, so she was locked in.
There you go.
Shout out to Venus. Shout out to Aaron Kawanda, Anita Nicole. Shout out to Shining Star, Dr. Clarissa, Kiana Simmons, good morning, Sir Chance. Who else we got? DVJ73. Everybody that's on here. They were talking about the house. Halo 1, I was about to mess that up. Halo 1 MKE 414 said, man, Dame taking me back to the house party days. We used to hand draw the flyers and go to Kinko's and print them out. And Cataclysm and Cruddy Click days, absolutely. You know, brother. Anita Nicole, look, I was at house parties in the 90s and plenty of those schools were there. And it got too packed once the word spread. And a lot of times that happens at those house parties, just to close that conversation up. Shout out to my man D-Will 9 on here, too.
Yep. We have a caller on our Truth Talk text lines. Again, we're trying to get, what has to happen because these things are continuing. And you're talking about in a weekend that the weather hasn't been supreme, shall I say, Dame. Yeah. We've had lots of rain, continuous downpouring rain as well, and then just the cold temperatures. And I'm just praying that we don't end up hearing about anything on a blizzard Monday. But we gotta.
I doubt something good. Who's gonna be outside right now? It's crazy.
Bro, we've had them, and I just didn't think that it would happen. But we gotta try to come together again as a community to figure out what are some things that we are not doing that needs to be done to start changing the narrative of these situations. So Al, MKE, great morning. Love you. Appreciate you. You hear the conversation. I know you got an opinion. What's your truth?
The opinion is that these politicians that's sitting back on their ass doing nothing, they got to stop being dandelions and pussy willows and open their oversized bite in their mouth because they didn't got their vote. See, when you look at certain neighborhoods, they say we're not going to allow it. You know what I mean? And then also we got to be vocal as well, too, because some of these people don't have no money to go nowhere else, so they need to take their stuff and get the F out. Because what's happening is it's taken away from the homeowners who live there. And here's the other thing y'all fail to realize, listeners. When you have them type of iggers, they use them as a reason not to put resources in your neighborhood because they're going to group you with them kind of people. And I don't care who feel they offended, be offended this morning on this blizzard day, okay? We got to get them out. We don't care where they go. We don't care about their children, their kids. You made them. You created them. You can take them and get the F out because we will never get no resources because of them. You know what I mean? Just like on 22nd, you got homeowners that live over there. But it ain't the blacks. It's them iggers. And them iggers know we can do it here because we don't got no credit to go nowhere else. Other thing, some of you parents that raised them niggas. And when you drop dead, everything you left, they ain't going to keep anyway because they ain't educated and smart enough. They're going to lose it anyway. Get high on dope, get high on coke, probably Bluetooth with the needle, and everything you left them, they still going to lose it any other way. So do us a favor and get your stuff and get the F out. Bye.
Hang on, Al. Hang on, Al.
Yeah.
Al. Okay.
Yes. What's up?
Kyle on Truth to Power last week, one of the conversations that ended up coming up, one of the callers was saying that he believed that it's the rap music, but particularly the drill music that, and just like he was saying that the artist that he believed the artist that was at Landmark Credit Union Live was a drill rapper, Boss Mandela, which, he is. But do you think that that's part of it? Because when people try to blame it on rap and hip hop, I always say, nah, we can't do that.
Absolutely not.
But
because we all have the free will, and we all have basic common sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're trying to do now is they're trying to take the iggaism and put it with mental health, which is nothing but bull sugar, honey, iced tea. I listen to that kind of music all the time, Sexy Red, but I ain't ever wanted to go out in the street and catch a disease. So we can't.
Right.
So we can't sit here and put music. Now you're saying black people are stupid and dumb and they don't know how to control themselves and they need to be controlled like animals. We're smart, bright, and intelligent. So for those people who feel like they can't function, they need to take their stuff and move up the Warsaw. Y'all can get houses like MTV Cribs, and y'all can do all that up there. A whole lot of Section 8, and y'all can take y'all EBT and y'all children, and y'all can go.
All right. Thanks, Al. I appreciate that.
Al is right. The fact that Al is bumping Sexy Red, though, troubled me. In the midst of all of this serious conversation.
But
Al bumping Sexy Red is...
But the thing with that, because I've always defended, and even when Doc B had ended up sending you that text, I think this is one of the things that me and Doc B have defended over the years when people put it to that. I just believe that, like with Al, very intelligent brother, so we can decipher the entertainment portion of it and be able to enjoy just for the entertainment value without going out there, like he said, going to get diseases.
Bossman and Bossman D-Lo is not drill. He's from down south. He does down south rap. That's what it is. Drill is that Chicago Chief Keef is the
NBA young boy and all that kind of stuff.
Chief Keef is the god.
Lil Durk.
Of drill music. Mm-hmm. That's how it started with like him and them cats, and then it separated and went. It's the young dudes, and it just means wild out. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes but that it isn't the music itself, because there's always been a portion of that music that has been across through black culture. Like when we were talking earlier about the movie Sinners, and then there's a scene in the movie Sinners where they go through black culture, and they go through from music. Africa, and they go through the present of where they were at in the present into the future. And there's always been those stories and those tales of gangsterism in music. You've had Muddy Waters and them talking about pulling a knife on people. So if you study the history of our music and urban music, there's always that portion of it. And hip-hop is going to be no different. It's the playing up of it that happens, and it's also the fact that there isn't a distinction between this is just music and this is real life. In hip hop, there's always this keeping it real. But I had a mother that was telling me, okay, yeah, they keeping it real, but they telling somebody else's story. They're not. There's no way they're out here selling. He don't got 10 keys sitting in the backseat of his car. That's not happening right now, right? Mm-hmm. There's that, and it goes back to the parental thing, and that is that there's the parents aren't sitting down with their kids and explaining it to them. This is music. This is what's happening here. So I don't think you can blame the music. I think the ultimate blame for that part of it and them taking the music serious falls on the parents that aren't watching what their kids are listening to and interacting with them while they're listening to this music.
Mm-hmm. And again, I look at it as the education level of being able to take the entertainment, because when you look at these artists that are making a lot of this music, they not living the lifestyle
they never are.
that they talking about. You get what I'm saying? And I'm saying in the sense of that they always there on the corner and this, that, and the other. No, they've elevated themselves.
Yeah.
They're not living where they used to live.
And it's highly unlikely that they were ever doing that. If we're going to be 100, it's highly unlikely that a lot of those people that talk like that were ever doing that. And they may have sat there and watched other people doing it harder, and then now I'm going to tell their story. I'm going to talk about them. That's why people like Jay-Z, people like Nas, and people like these other rappers, because they DMX, because they got receipts of them being in those positions and them actually telling their stories. But a lot of times rappers are just, they entertainers. It's movies. And we don't blame. I saw an article the other day that they are fighting in Texas. Someone just got sent to life because of their rap lyrics. We don't do that to Schwarzenegger. We don't do that to the man that made Pulp Fiction and all the violence that is in his movies and him saying and all the stuff that takes place. We don't do that to them. You know, we don't say now that the movie that won One Moment at a Time or something won the Best Picture, right? One battle at a time. Now, if somebody decides to do some stuff and blow up a bank and do something, are we going to go to them and say, you started it? Because
of course they're not. Of course they're not.
No.
They're not.
So why do we do that to us? We always pile it on ourselves and don't look at the big picture, and we allow others to pile it on us as well.
The same reason that we write our artists off after a certain age and be like they can't make music no more and this, that, and the other. It's the same reason. We got to get ready to take care of some bills. You're listening to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth. We'd like to hear from you, Truth Nation. Again, 833-212-1017. We'll be black.
Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship, because that for them is freedom.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT. You want to mark your calendar Saturday, March 28th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Cream City and Milwaukee chapters of the Links Incorporated present the Black Family Wellness Expo at Evolve Church. Free health screenings, mental health resources, nutrition and wellness education, family-friendly activities, trusted community providers, no cost, walk-ins are welcome. Let's strengthen and sustain healthy Black families together. March 28th, Evolve Church. Be there.
Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. Skip the sterile clinical office feel. Sweet Talks stays on the cutting edge of beauty and wellness innovations in a vibrant, playful space promoting self-love and confidence. Sweet Talks specializes in a range of treatments including injectables, medical-grade skincare, weight loss, hormone therapies, and more. Not sure where to start? Sweet Talks offers comprehensive wellness consultations to create a customized plan centered around you. Because at Sweet Talks, your goals are their goals. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc at mcw.edu.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Nation, welcome, Black. I am the legendary Home Blow, along with my brother,
MC Dame Elzy in the building.
And, of course, Will holding it down. What's going on with you, Will?
Doing good. Hoping the roads are a little bit better than when we came in this morning for anyone driving.
Yeah, can you check and see if there's a lot of accidents that have happened since we've been?
Yeah, I'm sure. I was actually driving home from Chicago. I was visiting some family last night when it started to get bad, and there were cars facing me on the highway.
Wow.
That was a rough drive.
Like completely 180 facing the wrong way.
Right.
It was bad.
That wind on some of them spaces coming from Chicago to Milwaukee, and the wind last night was so crazy.
And it wasn't snowing at all in Illinois. But like the second I crossed over the state border, it was so bad in Wisconsin.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, like, prayers to everybody that lives even further north, because they for real, like that 10 to 20 inches, like they really
10 to 20 inches like that just shuts down stuff.
Yeah. So, and like they keep saying, impassable roads.
Yeah.
So it's like
no matter if you got 4-wheel drive, no matter what you're in.
That's right.
It's too tall for that.
That's right. So yeah, please be careful. We can't keep saying it enough. That's why, but we're letting you know that the roads they bad, y'all. They bad. And this warning is in effect until 4 p.m. So it's only 8:18 going on 8:18 in the morning.
And you said it's going to be there's a band that's coming that's even stronger.
Yeah, man. So it's like it's more to come. So when you think that okay, and it's blowing. So as Dane was saying earlier, see with that drifting snow, that makes it worse. So it's like, okay, well, it ain't that much here. Then you run into a big mountain of snow.
It's blowing almost horizontal.
Right.
It was like, I rolled my window down for a second and it was like hitting me in the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's how hard it's coming in. So
yeah, absolutely. So please be careful. You know what I mean? So if you do have to go out, we understand. But if you don't, please don't. So those of you who are out because I got to get out there, I got to work, I got to this, I got to that, we get it. But be careful. Be mindful that you're not only driving for yourself, you're driving for everybody else. Because you may be doing all of the right things and right maneuvers, but somebody else may not.
Don't be in a rush.
That part. That was a song, Don't Rush. It was a TikTok phenomenon. Everybody doing a little Don't Rush. But shout out to Bailey again.
I thought you were about to sing Stephanie Mills or something.
No.
You ain't going to go that far back on them.
No, not putting a rush on me.
Yeah. Putting a rush on me. And I like to know you better. Ooh, y'all better watch out.
I was just going to say,
let me start singing. It's over for you, ladies. I'm playing with you.
When I think of home, I think of a place. Let me hear you sing Home.
No, I can't sing Home.
Okay.
Let me stop, for real.
Okay.
I might get some bookings or something.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Rapper turned singer. It's happened before.
Yeah, 50 talked about Ja Rule and
yeah, and then 50 started singing too.
Became Ja Rule.
Right.
Took his whole little career. Well, I mean, he still do what he do, but yeah, it really damaged
your
him.
man Jack Harlow just put out a whole singing album. Is that his name?
Yeah,
White boy?
Jack Harlow. Mm-hmm.
If you don't get the hell out of here. And then named it Monica. If you don't get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah. So, again, one of the things that we are bringing up, because unfortunately it's hitting us in the face, seems like daily, the violence that is still going on. So, Dane, what is one of the keys, in your opinion, to get some of the, because it's Toys R Us adults. They are, they doing a lot of the shooting. They doing a lot of the homicides. They're involved in a lot of these DV situations. But with you being a mentor for some of our young brothers that are coming up, what are some of the key things that the city should be doing and the community as a whole should be doing that could change the narrative, man? Because, those young ones that are choosing, I'm talking, man, they got weapons. Like, I ain't seen these weapons until I see them
You ain't
in
seen
a
them
video
till you seen
showing them off and all of that, or seeing real life situations, be like, he got a what kind of gun is that with the drums and all of that? So what are some of the things? Because that's where we got to get to, in my opinion. We got to get to, like, how can we really start changing the narratives and the behavior patterns? So what are we not doing that should be or can be done to help change that?
I think first thing we need to do is look at things through a historical lens and understand we're in a bad time, but it's been worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not think this is the worst that it's been, because comparable in 1960, the per 100,000
per capita.
It was 54 murders per 100,000 nationwide. I'm talking about nationwide numbers, and we're at that same level right now in 2025. So when you compare it to 1960, then in 1970s, there was 78. So it was higher in the 70s. It was higher in the 90s. So let's not get too far gone and say it's the worst it's ever been. It's not. We've been worse, and we've gotten better. I don't know. We can deal with the symptoms of it, and like you asked me about the youth, and I deal with them personally. So when I'm dealing with someone personally, I oftentimes talk about, and this is just controlling the symptom, because the violence that we have is just a symptom of a major issue that our country is dealing with. But I can help you personally by saying you need to control your emotions. You need to understand where you are in the moment and think 2 steps ahead. A lot of times people live in the moment. A lot of times people are just, I'm mad right now. I'm going to do something right now. I don't care about what happens then. I don't care about who it affects going forward. I don't care that I'm at an establishment where if I go wild and act crazy, this person may lose their livelihood because I done acted wild.
Because they living in the moment.
Because you living in the moment. You're not seeing anything other than the moment. Why are we living like that? Why do people live in the moment? Is it because they have a hopelessness of the future? Is it because they don't see a future for themselves? And now I'm talking about the wider spectrum of it. And the research that I've read, it says a lot of times crime goes up. And I talked about 1970, the numbers per capita for crime was 78 because there was a lack of hope. And people talk about hope, and we talk about Jesse. That's why Jesse was talking about keep hope alive. And that's why Obama was talking about hope. That's why hope is important, because hope gives you a presence in the future. Right. It lets you see yourself down the line. A lot of times these young people and a lot of times these parents, these adults, they don't see themselves down the line. They've already lived a large portion of their life. They don't got no retirement. They don't got nothing, right? So they like, I don't care about that. Only thing I got is my respect. So in this moment, I'm going to lose my mind. And in losing my mind, I don't care about nothing else. So I guess what I do with the youth is I impress upon them, you have a future. I impress upon them in ways that I work with them. Let's talk about 5 things you want to be when you grow up. That's the first thing I do when I get them. What you want to be. Now, what do you have to do to get to those 5 things? This is what you have to do. You can't stop learning right now. You can't stop doing anything. You can't lose your mind right now, because now you got goals. You got things set forward for you. Until we get our youth and even those that have lost their way and don't feel like they have anything else, until we get them to realize that what you do affects everyone else around you, then it's going to keep happening.
How long do you think that takes? Because I guess that's the other part that comes into the equation, because there are people that are trying to do their part, but it's like, man, you know what I mean? Is there a timetable on it?
Absolutely, because listen, I'm dealing with 1 kid.
Okay.
At a time. I maybe got 15 kids on my roster. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with 1 kid at a time. That's nothing. It's something, but I'm talking about in the bigger picture. 15 kids, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna take me. 1 kid is you don't start seeing the effects of it and them start understanding stuff until 2 years. 2-3 years of them dealing with me on a regular basis for them to start, and me drilling it in their head for them to start understanding those moments what would Mr. D say right now? What would Mr. D want me to do right now, right? That happens. How do you do that on a larger scale? Our politicians and our leaders, the ones that, and even elected and non-elected, are the ones that have to provide that guidance and provide that hope for our
tools
generations.
and the resources.
There you go.
Okay.
And whether it be tools or resources, whatever it is, because research has also shown when people believe in something else better, like when Pratt was mayor, right? We talked about this before. When Marvin was mayor for those 4 or 5 months, crime in the city went down.
It did.
It plummeted, right? Why? Because they saw in him, okay, I got somebody now that's fighting for me. There's a chance that something else may be coming down the road. I don't have to live in this moment. That's what happens.
All right, you're listening to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM The Truth. I'm the legendary Home Blow, along with my brother,
MC Dame Elzy.
And we'll be black.
From office lunches to family celebrations, Cousin Subs has the crowd-pleasing catering you need. Choose from customizable party boxes, individual box lunches, fresh-baked cookies, and our classic party chips. Everything you need to satisfy any size group, big or small. Ordering is easy online or on the Cousins app, so you can focus on the fun, not the food. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
It's not fit out for man or beast out there. It's pretty nasty. The visibility is not great either. Excuse me. We've got lots of accidents and spinouts and cars stuck in lanes that aren't really lanes because you can't see the lanes. So extra careful out there. Everything's going to be slow. I'm getting word that things are moving, but it's just going to be slow, which is good. North of Ozaukee, Washington, and Dodge counties, it just basically don't go out there. Right now, not the worst advice to have down in our neck of the woods. If you don't have to get out and drive around, don't do it. It's just going to save you big old headaches. But if you do have to get out there, make sure you have your headlights on. Visibility, not great. You want to make sure that other people can see you. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast, a blizzard warning for all of southeast Wisconsin until 4 p.m. today. Snowy, windy, widespread blowing snow, 4 to 6 inches total in Milwaukee, 6 to 12 to the far north and west, a high of 25. Tonight, patchy blowing snow, gradual clearing, cold with a low of 7 above, a wind chill of 0 to 10 below. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
A limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, willing and dealing son of a gun. Woo! Ric Flair is coming to Milwaukee, y'all. March 27th at the Riverside Theater. Thanasis Antetokounmpo hosts Thanalysis Live with the WWE Hall of Famer and global icon himself. This isn't a cameo. This isn't a 5-minute interview. This is a full live show. High energy, unfiltered storytelling, behind the scenes moments you've never heard. And if you know Thanasis, you know he's bringing the juice, the energy, the laughs, the surprises. And when Ric Flair grabs a mic, woo! Anything can happen. Tickets are limited. Don't wait. Lock yours in now at thanalysisnow.com. Thanalysis Live, March 27th at the Riverside Theater, presented by Gruber Law Offices and Potawatomi Casino Hotel. I am the greatest. Woo!
There you go. Wait, there you
record.
That's the animation.
You killed that. I won't lie. You killed that.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I loved Ric Flair coming up. You know what I'm saying? And I will say this. The weather report amped me up because she did such a great job in that weather report. I was like, I gotta raise the level.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the best weather report I've ever heard of. Shout out to Debbie. The best weather report I've ever heard. You know, cars that are in a lane but ain't really in a lane.
That's right.
She kept it 100 with you.
Yep.
So she raised the bar, and I had to take it there, Will. Thank you, Will.
Welcome, Black, to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth. I was in the midst of asking Dame the question with him being a mentor for some of our young men that are coming up. And what are some things that need to happen so we don't end up seeing a race of babies that hate the ladies? Because even with looking at some of the violence as it relates to these fights, man, these young brothers, man, they just be encouraging the fights and watching them, and they'll fight the girls. You get what I'm saying? All of that, and it's just like, that's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. So that's why it's important that we try to figure out what are some of the things that we need to do that can change it. And you had made a point while we were taking our break about some of the heroes, you know what I'm saying, or some of the people that the neighborhood had a chance to kind of like look up to because you had a black doctor or a lawyer. Speak on that.
What I was saying to Homer in the break, y'all, and because the conversation didn't stop because we was heated, was that I gave y'all the numbers. 1950, 1960, it was the same 54 per 1,000 as it is today, right? So then you go to 1970, it goes up to 78 per capita, which is pretty bad. Then you go to the 80s and the 90s where it reaches its peak and it's bad and guns hit the streets, and now it gets worse. Goes down a little bit, and then it goes back up around 2020 once the pandemic hit. But now it's starting to go back down. What are these peaks and valleys, these highs and lows? But if you go back, and what Homer and I was talking about, if you go back to 1950s, what happened in the 1950s? You had, in 1955, you had Topeka versus the Board of Education. You had Thurgood Marshall, who really didn't want integration. He just wanted to get the fair share of the money that was being taken away from the black community in taxes, given to the black schools. He really, and the white community and say, okay, we're not going to give you your money. We're going to give you integration. And then we're going to keep your money. So that's what it was. In 1955, what happened was via integration, once that, because that basically ended desegregation, made it illegal, right? You get to the 60s and you get a rise in crime. You can start seeing a rise in crime. You start seeing it. Because we can't say it's because we poor. We was poor in 51. We was segregated and oppressed in 51. We was segregated and oppressed in 1950. All of the things that we say we were back then. And I, even before I went and read this stuff, would have thought I would have gave those as reasons, right? That's not the case. I think what happened was our hope, and I don't want to make it sound oversimplified because there are a lot of different things that go into crime and a lot of different technical things that go into it that get a lot of people paid that maybe shouldn't be getting paid. But that's neither here nor there. I would say that when desegregation happened, our hope got taken from us. Our doctor that stayed 2 blocks away from us got taken away from us. Our lawyer that stayed down the street got taken away from us. The nurses got taken away from us. Those that are doing work in the community got taken away from us. And then all that was left was those that were still struggling trying to get there.
So hope left is what I ended up saying.
Yes.
You know what
and
I'm
homie,
saying?
You're right. I believe and people are going to get on our ass like, oh, that's too simple. You just talking about Dame said all we need is hope. That ain't what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is the ramifications of economic policies, the ramifications of integration, the ramifications of all of these things have left us without that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying somehow we need to get that back. And how do we do that? We have churches in our community where everybody comes from outside the city and they sit in the pews. And then as soon as church is over, they leave and go back to wherever they were from outside of that community. We need to be, even if we don't live in those communities, we need to be a part of those communities. We need to let people see us, let them see what we're doing, and lead them the right way. And then when we say leaders, I'm not talking about just politicians. I'm talking about you're a leader, whether you want to be or not, if you have been successful in your task to become successful, whether you own a bunch of houses, whether you own a business, whether you went to college and got 15 degrees, you are successful in what you tried to be a success in, and in teaching that to the next generation, or even teaching that to your current generation, people your age. Is important because they can see themselves outside of the moment.
Absolutely.
And if you only see yourself in the moment, then you're going to respond in the moment because you're not thinking 2 steps ahead. You're not thinking about how the ramifications of this affect everyone. And once you take that away, you get what we have.
Now, one of the things that when we're talking about the examples, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, or just, men and women working, to give that example.
Man.
There is more staggering news coming out. We heard about some of our sisters, and I'll go into that, but over 500,000 black men have reportedly lost their jobs in recent months. A new analysis says more than 500,000 black men have lost jobs over a 4-month period.
Man.
Advocates say the numbers highlight disparities in employment trends and economic opportunity. So, men, being able to work, it's one of the things that when our children are coming up, be like, yep, my daddy worked, my daddy worked, which bucks the trend of so many sisters that may be saying, yeah, I don't work and I got this and I got that. But no, we worked. And to have 500,000 black men lose their jobs in 4 months.
4 months. These aren't regular jobs, probably.
Right.
These are jobs that we were just talking about, those higher end jobs because of the DEI.
Which is where the correlation comes in, yeah.
The DEI disillusion has happened, right? And so they start losing their jobs. But those are the ones that we're looking, our people in the streets are looking at like, yeah, man, you doing it, man. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now they coming back, and you like, oh, they treated him like that?
Let me keep selling dope.
Let me. Then the hope we're talking about, is even more so eradicated because now that person's coming back like, yeah, man, they did you that way. You played the game right. You did everything you were supposed to do. So what am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Where's the hope in it for me in that moment? And I'm oversimplifying it by just saying we need hope. Obviously, there's the things that would get us that hope.
Absolutely.
But I'm just saying, we only got this amount of time. And then you couple that with the black women who from January to July last year lost 300,000.
Yeah, 300,000.
And that's probably, so now you're talking about, and that's probably higher than that. So now you're talking about over 1 million jobs that have been lost and black people that have been taken out of those higher end jobs, been taken out of the workforce over the last year.
Yeah. So, and to go with the our sisters again. So, and this is why we got to understand the fight shouldn't be amongst us as men and women the way that I see it leaning, where a lot of women are like, well, we the breadwinner, we did this, we did that. Based on 2025 data, over 300,000 black women lost their jobs, with figures increasing throughout the year due to high unemployment rates. Data showed that 251,000 to over 300,000 jobs were lost between February and August of 2025, with the unemployment rate for black women rising to 6.7% by November of 2025. The significant losses by November 2025 reports indicated that as many as 600,000 black women had left the workforce or lost their jobs. Like, that's crazy. And the disproportionate impact, black women experience higher unemployment rates, with a 3.5 percentage point drop in the employment to population ratio, which is EPOP for college educated black women, the highest amongst any group. Key factors, the job losses were driven by federal job cuts, reversals of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, and impacts on small businesses. The unemployment rate for the black women jumped from 5.9% in late 2024 to 7.1% by November 2025.
That's a hell of a lot.
It's scary. It's even terrifying, because even those that are doing their part and still, you know what I'm saying, trying to make ends meet and all of that, like, to just lose I know so many companies, Dame, that just had to close, and different nonprofits that just had to shut their doors because of these orange man policies that were swept in with an executive order and then pushed through legislation to make it like blam. That's what it is now. So that kind of stuff is crazy. We want to hear from you to talk about this, Truth Nation. We got to take care of some bills. You're listening to Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth. Ladies, we want to hear from you. Fellas, we want to hear from you. What does this mean, and what does it look like for our future as black men and women in this country? We'll be black.
The Brew Crew are back on March 26th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they open up the season against the Chicago White Sox.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
Brewers opening day is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in March 26th at 1:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Sun-Times raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Marcus Center, March 24th through 29th. Tickets at marcuscenter.org.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because we know you love working weekends, if it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Thank you, Milwaukee. Because of you, the second annual Truth Community Awards was an unforgettable celebration of the leaders, changemakers, and heroes who make our city shine. A special thank you to our incredible partners, Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Cousins Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Together, we're celebrating community, culture, and impact. We'll see you next year at the Truth Community Awards.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Welcome, Black Truth Nation. Truth in the Morning on the award-winning 101.7 FM The Truth, inside the American Family Insurance Studio in the heart of downtown at the Avenue. There is a blizzard warning until 4 p.m. here in Milwaukee and really southeast Wisconsin.
Not just snowing.
So blizzard. So please be careful. Give yourself lots of time. And again, be mindful that people are spinning out. And as our traffic report said, like, you thinking that you're in a lane and that's not a lane. We were talking about that initially before we...
Right. Because that was me last night. Driving on the expressway, I was in the wrong lane. I looked, and then the snow cleared. I'm like, oh, that's the line right there.
Right.
It's going right under my car.
Mm-hmm.
Let me move over a little bit.
Yeah. And everybody ain't got great tires.
Right.
You know, so it's all kind of different things that you got to put into the mix. So when we're talking about be careful, and those that are driving faster than they should be, like, no, let's turn into the little toy land and just inch along. I know, well, I'm in a 55. I'm in a... No, please. Go ahead and do your 35 to 45.
I was doing 25 on the highway last night. Took me forever, but it was
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
So bad. Like, I was like, it's not worth it. I saw people going past.
Right.
That's what we were talking about earlier, and I was going to ask you about that. What was your speed? And you just said it, 25. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's... that's why he's here.
Right.
There's people flying, though. Like, they going, like, because there was two plows.
This morning, yeah.
I got lucky because I was behind two plows, so I was just chilling behind them. And it was so much better. But some people were trying to go around them. I was like, why would you do that?
Why would you go around the plow? It's
and they were blowing the snow all the way to the right where the people were trying to get around. So it was like 10 times worse to go around them and speed up.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So again, I know y'all may say like y'all keep talking about the weather because trust me, if you get out here in it, you're gonna understand. If you got loved ones who are out here in it, you'll understand the importance that we let people know just how serious it is. Blizzard.
Yeah.
Not just a winter storm watch, not just a winter storm warning. Blizzard. So it means that the snow is blowing. Your visibility is decreased, like for real.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's why make sure your headlights work. If they are not automatic, turn them on. I turn on the high beams.
Put on the brights.
Yeah, because, again, it's just that crazy out there. So those of you who are thinking that, we may be exaggerating a little bit.
We're not.
You ain't been in it.
No.
That just means you ain't been in it.
Hey, Will, I can up your story once. I came home for Thanksgiving. I went to Florida A&M. I came home from Thanksgiving, and I caught a ride with somebody from Atlanta up here, and then I was gonna catch a ride with them back to Atlanta. Then once I got to Atlanta, I was gonna catch a ride with somebody else. That's the stuff we used to do. And so it was a snowstorm so bad, but this dude wanted to miss his girlfriend or something. And I was like, bro, let's just wait. Let's just. He was like, no, we're gonna go. We drove literally 20 miles per hour from Milwaukee all the way because it was like the snowstorm was like following us all the way to wherever it stopped, like the Mason-Dixon line.
Right.
It was like 10 hours. It took us to get that far when it only gonna take 14 to get to Atlanta on a typical situation. It was like 10 hours, and I was so mad in that moment. But now I'm happy because the brother drove that slow.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
At first I was like, let's not go. And then we did go. And I was like, why are we going this slow? I was 18, 19. He was a little bit older than me. He had the wherewithal and he had the thoughts to understand, I'm going to go 20 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And he did. And we made it there safely.
Yep.
So shout out to him. I don't even remember his name.
Better drive and stay alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really isn't a reason. And if you have your children in the car, you know what I'm saying, do it for yourself, but definitely make sure you're doing it for them.
Right.
Because, like I say, it's already bad enough with how things are and the slipping and the sliding. And some people aren't making way. Just like Will was saying when he was on his way and he was able to get behind some of the trucks. And you trying to get around a truck, like, stop. Like, this part of the road is going to end up being your better bet. So if you have to go slower, that's fine. I'll take that.
People need to drive and think of other people in that moment as well.
Yeah.
Not just think about, I need to get here faster. No, other people are trying to get to where they're going to go safely as well. And if you go past me super fast, and now you done shook me up, and you done I may spin out because you done went past me.
That's right.
This fast, and you don't care because you gonna keep going. So.
Yeah, so if you have to be out in this blizzard, please make sure you drive to stay alive. And just be mindful of the other people who are disobedient to the weather conditions, because that's the other thing that you're dealing with. You know, there's nothing worse, man, than having that fear of you trying to stop, but then you seeing somebody in your rearview mirror. Whew, that part, bro.
Yeah. That's rough.
That's a terrifying look. Because you start bracing for impact. Like, okay, this thing is going to hit me. This thing going to hit me.
And you try.
Some of the semis that may jackknife and then create those multiple pile-ups and all of that, man. I'd be looking at all that like, nope.
I've almost been in that too.
Have you?
We were coming from River Falls.
Wow.
Shout out to my Black Elephant crew. Shout out to Derek Verbal Hire, who will be on here Friday, talking about his book that he wrote for 2 Chainz, The Voice in My Head. I think that's The Voice in My Head is God or whatever. But shout out to him. But we was coming from River Falls, and we had to spin out. A truck went past us, and that's why I said the truck went past us fast. We spun out. And, you know, you coming back from up there, it was a snowstorm. We hit the part in the middle, backwards, going up the grass, going down and back up.
Wow.
We stopped from ongoing traffic, and a truck went past us. Literally, we got out the car. You could see the tracks of the truck in the snow. It was literally like 18 inches from our bumper.
Wow.
So if we would have kept going back a foot and a half, we'd be dead. Black Elephant would have been dead. A whole band dead. But through the grace of God, that's not what happened. And it wasn't us. It was the truck driver that went past us going like 60
despite the conditions. Right. You feel what I'm saying? And they already know that they're going to have a problem trying to slow down.
Right.
But them air brake, come on, man.
And the drag you have on a little car, a little van, you're a truck. So in the snowstorm, it's even worse. You driving past Zoom, and then that drag hit us, and it's crazy. But
yeah, so the moral of our messaging is, please, drive safe. Drive to stay alive. When we're talking about leave early, leave early.
Hazard lights, too. Like, if you know your car doesn't do good in the snow, put on your hazards.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So important.
I appreciate when people do that. If they know because you going up and you can't tell the speed of that car in the snowstorm. So you going fast, and then next thing you know, you on this car's bumper.
Especially with the poor visibility, too. It helps a lot.
Yep. Wonder how it was for Xavier coming in. Did you run into some of the snow traffic from the blizzard?
Well, I live...
Okay, just upstairs.
Close, so I just...
Yeah, he lives upstairs.
You live upstairs
like
in the
literally,
office?
literally upstairs in the office. That's where you at, right? So you didn't have to deal with the...
Oh, no.
No, I'm just saying. I was trying not to how you do that part. That's all. I'm like, you live upstairs. You was upstairs and just had to come down a couple of flights. There you go.
You just tell where this man live at.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm like. But that's the, now I'm talking about the Good Karma brand offices. That's what I was saying upstairs, like right under. That's why I said 2 flights down the stairs, 2 flights down. But yeah, be careful for those of you who, again, are essential workers or your company just said, we ain't closing. We ain't closing. We still open.
You better get here, buddy.
Right. Right, like I think in some places with the city of Milwaukee, they just changed the time that they got to be in to like 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna need an extra couple of hours to get here. So if you leave at the time you're
supposed to be there, right?
You'll get here. But that is capitalism at its finest. You don't care about nobody's health. Get your ass here, boy.
Be like, you gonna learn today.
Capitalism.
Let's see how Sherwin-Hughes did getting in, because coming up next is the award-winning Truth with Sherwin-Hughes on the award-winning 101.7 FM The Truth. So just be careful, people. Be careful. Be like myself. Be like Dame. Be like Will when he was making his way black to the city, because we don't want to have to report that, you know, some of the people in our community or just anywhere ended up losing their lives because they got caught up in a serious accident. You know what I mean? Or their child was in the car or whatever the case may be.
Don't be a news report tomorrow.
Right. Dame, what you got, bro?
Don't be a news report tomorrow.
That part.
That's what I
And I'm going to ditto that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to ditto that. Jasmine Gooden on the YouTube said, my office closed today because it's too risky for the employees. Kudos for that did that.
They did not succumb to capitalism.
Absolutely. If nobody has told you that they love you today, we want to let you know that we love you. Please be safe. Blizzard warning in effect until 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We out of here.